Good morning, all of you. Today we'll talk about electromagnetism. Yesterday I have sent you notes about the various theorems which we will be using in electromagnetism. Now, in electromagnetism, the contribution of Maxwell needs to be appreciated because he has presented the laws of electricity and magnetism in a unique way. He has combined electricity and magnetism into one subject, which is electromagnetism. Now we'll do some mathematics which is easy to comprehend. Okay, so now the first Maxwell's equation is known as Gauss law in electrostatics. This Gauss law in electrostatics was given by Gauss, and you have already studied this in class 12. But Maxwell modified this law into a special form. To recall, the Gauss law simply says that the electric flux, which is written as E dot ds, this is a surface integral, which is a two-dimensional integral, is equal to the total charge enclosed in a given surface divided by epsilon naught. This statement was given by Gauss. Now what Maxwell did was, Maxwell modified it and give it a new look with the help of the differential operator delta, which we discussed yesterday. So let's see how Maxwell converted this equation into a new form. Now we know that this charge Q can be represented as volume integral rho times dV, where rho is volume charge density. This rho is volume charge density, which means that it is charge divided by volume. When integrated over the whole volume, this is nothing but equal to the total charge. So volume charge density integrated over the whole volume is equal to the charge. So in place of Q, I can replace it with this integral form so that my equation 1 becomes surface integral E dot ds is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times volume integral rho dV. Remember, rho is volume charge density. dV is nothing but the small volume which we are considering. Now we discussed the Gauss divergence theorem. Using that Gauss divergence theorem, I can convert a surface integral into a volume integral. So this Gauss divergence theorem suggests that E dot ds can be expressed as volume integral divergence of E dV. This is nothing but the Gauss divergence theorem which we have discussed in the previous lecture. If I substitute the value of E dot ds in this form back into equation 2, I get volume integral divergence of E, where E is nothing but the electric field, dV is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times volume integral rho times dV. Let's continue further. I'll shift this to this side of the equality. Let's move ahead. So now, looking at the previous equation, del dot E dV minus 1 by epsilon naught volume integral rho dV is equal to 0. I can take this volume integral together so that I get volume integral del dot E minus rho by epsilon naught times dV is equal to 0. Whenever an integral is equal to 0, it implies that the integrand is essentially 0, which means del dot E minus rho by epsilon naught is equal to 0. Otherwise, the integral of a given function cannot be equal to 0. Now, this particular equation can be rewritten as del dot E is equal to rho by epsilon naught. This is known as the first Maxwell's equation. This particular equation is nothing but the same as the Gauss law of electrostatics, but written in a different form. This is known as differential form of Gauss law. So the same Gauss law of electrostatics is now converted into a new form by Maxwell, and this becomes the first Maxwell's equation, and it is having the same significance and the same meaning as stated by Gauss law, which means equation 5 simply says that the net electric flux is equal to the total charge enclosed divided by epsilon naught. Similarly, the second Maxwell's equation is nothing but an equivalent of Gauss law in magnetostatics. Let's see what it is. Now, since magnetic monopoles do not exist, what do I mean by this? I simply want to convey that a magnet will always be a dipole, howsoever small it is, which means that if you break a magnet, it will always create a dipole. You cannot have a single north pole or a single south pole. Magnetic monopoles do not exist is a statement which even a class 6 child would be knowing, because people do experiment with magnets from their childhood. Now, if I write this equation mathematically, it can be expressed as surface integral B dot ds, which is nothing but magnetic flux. So the net magnetic flux across a given surface is always equal to 0, and it implies that the magnetic field lines are always closed, which means across a given surface, the number of field lines entering in is always equal to the number of field lines entering out of the given surface. Now, this particular law is remembered as Gauss law in magnetostatics because it is identical to Gauss law in electrostatics. Now, I can rewrite this law by making use of the Gauss divergence theorem. So, using Gauss divergence theorem, I have surface integral B dot ds is equal to volume integral divergence of B dV. So if I substitute equation 2 back into equation 1, I'll get volume integral divergence of B dV is equal to 0, and if the integral is 0, it automatically implies that the integrand is 0, which gives me del dot B equals to 0. This equation is known as the second Maxwell's equation. So today we have derived the two Maxwell's equations. I will quickly recap what I have done starting from the very beginning. So to begin with, we started with the Gauss law of electrostatics. The Gauss law of electrostatics is mathematically written as surface integral E dot ds is equal to q by epsilon naught, where q is the charge enclosed in the given surface. I can write q as volume integral rho times dV, where rho is volume charge density. So therefore, instead of this q, I can replace it with this expression. So equation 1 becomes surface integral E dot ds is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times volume integral rho dV. Now I make use of the Gauss divergence theorem, which says surface integral E dot ds can be replaced by volume integral divergence of E dV. So I substitute this expression over here in place of surface integral E dot ds. So what I get is volume integral divergence of E dV is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times volume integral rho dV. Since both sides we have volume integral, I can shift it to the other side and I can make a common equation which gives me volume integral del dot E minus rho by epsilon naught times dV equals to 0. If the integral is 0, it automatically implies that the integrand is 0. Therefore, del dot E minus rho by epsilon naught is equal to 0, which implies del dot E is equal to rho by epsilon naught. This becomes the first Maxwell's equation, which is nothing but the same Gauss law written in a different form known as differential form. Now we'll write the same as Gauss law in electrostatics. We move on to Gauss law in magnetostatics, and it simply states that the net magnetic flux across an enclosed surface is always equal to 0, which means that magnetic monopoles do not exist. So if I write this mathematically, I can convert this 2D integral into a 3D integral using my Gauss divergence theorem, and from here I can make out del dot B is equal to 0. This becomes the second Maxwell's equation. So in today's class we have derived two Maxwell's equations in differential form. So I'll rewrite differential form of Maxwell's equations. There are four Maxwell's equations and we have derived two Maxwell's equations. The first one is del dot E is equal to rho by epsilon naught, and the second equation is del dot B is equal to 0. Now since B is the magnetic flux density, which is equal to mu naught times H, I can write this equation as del dot mu naught times H equals to 0, which implies del dot H is equal to 0. So this is also known as the second Maxwell's equation. So equation 1 and equation 2 are the two Maxwell's equations. In the next class, we'll derive the third and the fourth Maxwell's equation. I'll send the lecture tomorrow. Thank you, class.